You know, people love to talk about success, how they made it, what they did right, but hardly anyone talks about failure, what it teaches you. Failure is uncomfortable. It stings. It makes you question your worth, your talent, your path. But for me, failure wasn't an ending. It was the teacher I never knew I needed. Today, I want to talk about what failure taught me, piece by piece, not as a motivational slogan, but as someone who's lived through it, felt it, and rebuilt from it. When I think back, the first real failure I faced wasn't about losing something big. It was small, a rejection, a missed opportunity, a plan that didn't go the way I imagined. I remember working hard on something I thought would change everything. Days, nights, all poured into it. And then one day, it collapsed. No appreciation, no recognition, just silence. And that silence was louder than any criticism. But here's what I learned from it. Failure doesn't destroy you. It strips away illusions. It shows you who's real, who supports you, and most importantly, what you're truly made of. At that point, I realized it's not the fall that defines you, it's what you decide to do next. Failure doesn't always arrive like a storm. Sometimes it sneaks in quietly. It shows up as procrastination, as doubt, as comparison, as fear that you might not be good enough. And that's the scariest part. Failure doesn't just test your skills, it tests your spirit. There were moments I wanted to quit everything. Because when you keep trying and nothing works, your mind starts whispering, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you're just not meant for this. But here's the thing. Those whispers are lies. Failure tries to convince you to give up before you even realize how close you are. Every person you admire today, every success story you've heard, carries invisible scars of failure. You just don't see them. When you fail, it hurts. There's no way around that. But inside that pain lies a message. Failure taught me patience. It taught me to stop rushing success. Because real growth doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows. In those quiet, lonely nights when you're questioning your purpose. It taught me that sometimes God doesn't say no. He says, not yet. That every closed door isn't rejection, it's redirection. And once I understood that, my whole perspective changed. Failure wasn't something to be ashamed of anymore. It became part of the process, part of the journey that was shaping me into someone stronger, wiser, calmer. The hardest part of failure isn't falling, it's believing you can rise again. After my biggest setback, I remember waking up one morning and realizing no one's coming to fix it for me. No one's going to give me the confidence I lost. That's when I understood rebuilding doesn't start with motivation. It starts with discipline, with showing up again even when you don't feel ready. You rebuild by doing small things consistently, by taking one step even when the road ahead looks blurry. And eventually, those small steps begin to rebuild the version of you that failure once broke. Here's the truth. Success isn't the opposite of failure. It's built on failure. Every mistake you make teaches you what doesn't work. Every rejection sharpens your direction. And every setback adds weight to your story. When I look back now, I don't regret my failures, because they taught me resilience. They taught me empathy. They taught me that failure doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're trying. The world celebrates the result, but the result means nothing without the struggle behind it. You learn a lot about people when you fail. When everything's going well, everyone's around. But when you fall, silence. And that's a blessing in disguise. Because failure cleans your circle. It shows you who claps when you win, and who prays for you even when you lose. It teaches you that some people love your potential, not your process. And when you stop performing for others and start building for yourself, you find peace. There comes a point when you stop running from failure and start thanking it. Because it humbled you. It made you look deeper. It forced you to listen. It made you more thoughtful about life, about what really matters. Sometimes failure isn't punishment, it's protection. Maybe that thing didn't work because it wasn't meant to. Maybe you weren't ready yet. And maybe years later you look back and say, thank God it didn't go my way back then. The comeback doesn't start with applause. It starts in silence. It starts with you, alone, working again with the same passion that once broke you. And one day, things begin to shift. Not overnight, but gradually. The same people who doubted you start noticing again. But by that time, their validation doesn't matter anymore, because you've already validated yourself. You've learned that success without peace is hollow, and peace often grows from the soil of failure. So if you're watching this and you feel like you failed, I want you to remember this isn't the end. It's the part of your story where your strength is being tested, not taken away. Failure isn't final, it's formative. It's shaping you in ways success never could. You might not see it now, but one day you'll realize everything you lost, every mistake you made, every moment you thought was the end, was preparing you for something far greater than you imagined. So stop fearing failure. Start learning from it. Because sometimes the lesson you needed most was hidden in the fall you tried hardest to avoid.